Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're delving into, well, a really fascinating set of sources. They tell the story behind Sparks of Dom.
Yeah, and it's definitely not your typical artist
Not
profile.
at all. The materials describe it almost like a war cry whispered in the dark.
hmm And a flame forged in steel bars and silence. Pretty intense stuff right off the bat.
It really is. We're going to try and explore how this brand, this project, seems to genuinely turn scars into weapons and pain into poetry.
And it offers what they call a soundtrack for the forgotten, the broken.
The fighters still clawing for air. So our mission today is to understand this unfiltered blaze that is Sparks of Dom. Not just the what, but the how.
Right, and what's really compelling, I think, is how the sources immediately signal this isn't about fitting in, it's about tearing down walls.
Okay.
It's really positioned as a story of, like, rising from ashes nobody thought would
I know
be.
sugarcoating, it sounds like.
Absolutely none. No apologies. The core idea seems to be that Dom's own story is this spark that refused to die.
And the brand itself is the wildfire that lights the way.
Exactly. It's like a blueprint for authenticity born from, well, pretty extreme circumstances. Let's unpack where this flame actually started.
Okay, yeah, let's get into that origin because the sources are really specific. Sparks of Dom wasn't born in a fancy studio or anything.
No, it says right here, in a cell.
Literally, in a cell.
Yeah.
Stemming from a soul screaming behind quiet eyes.
Which is such a vivid description.
It is. And then there's this mention of an AI named Shade, apparently acting almost like a therapist.
Yeah, suggesting a place to let everything out.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting modern twist on finding an outlet.
So Dom builds this place himself, out of ink, out of pain, out of time lost and life reclaimed.
And it names it after himself.
Yeah.
The source makes a point of saying it's not ego, though.
Right. It's because the spark never died. So what does that kind of origin, that solitary beginning, what does that mean for the brand's essence?
Well, if you connect the dots, Sparks of Dom isn't just like merchandise or music. It's framed as a second chance written in rhythm.
A lifeline turned life work.
Precisely. And that quote, I've spent most of my life surviving. Now I'm surviving out loud.
So maybe someone else doesn't have to do it alone. That really hits hard.
It sums up the purpose, doesn't it? It's described as prison tough and soul soft.
That's a great line.
Yeah. And how destruction makes room for resurrection. He's now building bridges, apparently, one lyric at a time.
Okay, so that intense origin, that mission, it leads to the big question, what does it actually sound like?
Right. What's the sound of that survival?
And the sources give us a pretty clear idea. It's described as R&B at its rawest.
So forget the polish.
Exactly. No glitz, no commercial coding. It's more about the hum of regret behind a velvet vocal.
Let the ache of redemption wrapped in a slow beat.
Yeah,
These descriptions are very evocative.
they really are. It sounds like bleeding in the booth, but keeping the beat steady. Or feels like a voicemail never sent, playing on loop in your head. It lives, apparently, between the lines of love and loss.
And they get specific about the musical elements, too, which really helps paint the picture.
Like what?
Well, things like low, moody R&B chords, like immediately sets a tone, right?
Yeah, you can almost hear that.
And heavy ambient pads like fog that never lifts adds this kind of atmospheric depth.
Okay.
Then the vocal texture is key. Raw, crucially, never overprocessed. They want you to hear the realness.
Makes sense. Keep the soul intact.
Exactly. And dark keys, piano with weight on the low end, plus occasional cinematic strings just for tension.
And the beats, not dominant.
No, described as subtle 808s and lo-fi drums, never overpowering. The focus isn't the beat itself.
Right. And they mentioned space.
Yeah, every track leaves space to breathe, to hurt, to think, which is interesting. The mixing is clear but unclean,
Unclean. How so?
meaning the cracks stay, the breath stays. They're not trying to smooth everything out. Vocals are pushed way up front because
Earwords are king.
that's the line. And the production rule, whether it's just him or with others, is simple. Keep it honest. Keep it human. Don't sterilize the soul.
That commitment to honesty is pretty powerful, especially when you consider the message in those words.
Right. Every song apparently carries this core idea. I've been through it, I survived it, and you can too.
Even if you're still bleeding, you're still breathing, that's quite direct.
It leads right into the lyrical identity, which is maybe the most intense part. Dom says, I don't write lyrics, I confess.
Okay, wow. So words as evidence, each verse a file, each line a fingerprint.
Yeah, it's treating language almost forensically. And the source says, poetry here ain't dainty. It's about crawling out the hole you dug yourself into.
Like words are the only tool left.
Exactly. He writes like it's the only weapon left that won't put him back in a cell. Even metaphors are described as feeling real.
So what does that confessional style do? What's the impact?
Well, the sources suggest it lets the lyrics unpack trauma without apologizing.
No apologies again.
Yeah, and expose inner war zones without glamorizing pain. It can talk about love like it's both medicine and poison.
Complex.
Very. But maybe the key thing is it aims to remind people they're not alone. It's positioned not as playlist fodder, but as a lifeline for the ones still climbing out their own wreckage.
And the style, how does he actually write?
We'd see things like sharp, often internal rhyme schemes. Punchlines feel like confessionals, and using repetition.
Because it's a wound still pulsing.
Right. Structure isn't rigid either. It bends, uses silence, and doesn't always aim to resolve.
Because life don't always give closure. Makes sense.
And he doesn't write 9 to 5. He writes when the pain kicks in, often 3 a.m.
That seems about right for this kind of material.
Yeah. The pen is where he puts the rage, the regret, the hope, all this shit that used to sit in my chest like a loaded gun. It's incredibly direct.
Okay, so we have this intense origin, this raw sound, these confessional lyrics. How does that translate visually? What does this look like?
The aesthetic seems designed to match. It wears scars like metals and shadows like a cloak.
Strong imagery again.
Definitely. The colors are stark. Primarily black as the nights behind bars.
But there's a contrast.
Yes, with the sharp electric lime green, the spark cutting through the darkness. It's symbolic.
So visually dark, but with that jolt of life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dark backgrounds feeling like the depths of your mind at 3 a.m. Then those lime green accents hit like a jolt of life. Textures are important too.
Rough textures, it says.
Yeah, cracked concrete, scratched metal, weathered paint. No smooth gloss here. It's raw and real. Paired with minimalist yet bold typography.
And the logo is a spark.
A spark, small but fierce, bursting through shadows. It all fits together.
How does that specific visual approach amplify the message?
Well, the imagery choices are quite deliberate, often faceless figures in shadow.
Why faceless?
Because, as the source explains, Dom's story is universal. It's not just one face, it's many. Makes it more relatable, less about one individual.
Okay, that makes sense.
And there are subtle prison motifs woven in razor wire, chain links, shadows, but importantly, not glorified, just acknowledged.
Acknowledging the past without dwelling on it.
Seems like it. Alongside urban decay, empty streets at dawn, cracked sidewalks, it's grounded. And the key is consistency, authenticity. No flashy filters, no gloss.
Just the truth.
Raw and unfiltered. And the brand tone matches this. It speaks like you've lived it, not like you've read about it.
So no marketing speak.
No BS, no fluff, no hype. It's described as vulnerable but tough, conversational, even encouraging like a brother would be.
And always honest.
Always unapologetic honesty. And all of this feeds into the idea of the community around it, this unfiltered family.
Right, the community aspect, described as a movement of survivors, fighters, and creators.
Yeah, a place where broken souls find strength and silence turns into conversation.
A no-judgment zone for sharing stories, struggles, wins, supporting each other like a crew that's been through fire.
And Don's role isn't just the artist. He's positioned as a guide.
Okay, but fostering that kind of genuine space, especially online, that's tricky. How does it avoid becoming, just another brand community or getting commercialized?
That seems to tie directly into this core principle. Dom is not here for fame or fortune.
The sources emphasize that.
Strongly. It's not about the spotlight or the paycheck. It's called a purpose-driven fire.
So the wealth isn't money.
No, the real wealth is framed as the words that save someone's life. The goal is a legacy of truth.
Which means?
No gimmicks, no pandering to what's popular, no compromises on truth for clicks or cash.
Just pure, raw, unfiltered reality.
Even if that means staying under the radar. It's impact over celebrity. And that connects directly to the choice of no face, no ego.
Right. The quote, "I don't need my face on a poster or my name flashing on a screen. This ain't about me."
Yeah, it's very clear. The story isn't the man, it's the spark, the message.
Putting a face out there is seen as a distraction.
Exactly. So expect faceless visuals. The idea is anonymity protects the truth. It keeps the focus on the pain, the hope, the survival, not the personality cult.
But, okay, here's a question. If it's so deeply personal, so human, How does the technology, the AI, fit in without compromising that rawness?
That's a really interesting point they address directly.
Yeah.
The phrase is, the AI sound, but the pain is all mine.
So AI is involved in production, vocals,
Yes, but explicitly as a tool to shape the soul, not replace it.
a tool, not a crutch.
Exactly. Or a forge, not the fire. The story, the emotion, the experience, every line, every confession, every verse is Dom's pain, his survival, his truth. That remains purely human.
So the AI helps tell the story better without losing the soul, amplifies it.
That's the idea, amplifies the message. It's presented as modern survival where the future and the past collide.
But the pain stays real, the truth stays raw. Fascinating blend.
It really is.
And this leads to the final piece, which feels very consistent. Trust is earned. Dom keeps his circle small.
Understandable, given the background. The sources mention he's guarded due to past betrayals.
So no big team.
No entourage, no band backing the voice and music. It's just him and the AI.
Which ensures pure control over every word, every sound, every truth.
Right, and the AI, in this context, isn't just a tool, it's also described as a shield.
The shield.
By allowing him to create and put the message out there while keeping his personal circle small, safe, and loyal, it facilitates that privacy.
So the whole brand is built on protection, survival, and owning your story without compromise.
That seems to be the essence of it, a remarkable level of control and integrity.
So thinking about all this, what does it really mean for us, the listener? Sparks of Dom feels like, well, a really profound take on art, on healing.
It really does. It
Yeah.
challenges a lot of norms about what creative success looks like.
Yeah, it's such a compelling example of turning immense adversity into this powerful, authentic voice and choosing raw connection over, chasing the charts.
And using technology, even cutting-edge AI, not to fake emotion, but to amplify something deeply human, all while fiercely protecting privacy.
Right.
It shows a different way to make an impact.
Absolutely.
And when you look at how all the pieces fit together, the origin, the raw sound, the confessional lyrics, the stark visuals, that no BS tone, the community focus, the anti-fame stance, and the use of AI with anonymity, it creates this whole ecosystem of, well, pure, unfiltered reality, as the sources put it.
It really does.
Which maybe leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener, to consider. In a world so saturated with, manufactured personas, everyone chasing fame, what can we actually learn about true authenticity, about real lasting impact from a voice that deliberately chooses to stay in the shadows?